Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something that often goes unnoticed. Not the obstacles placed in front of us by the world, but the ones we create for ourselves. Too often, the biggest enemy standing between us and our destiny is not society, not our circumstances, not even our critics. It is us. We sabotage our own growth by doubting our abilities, delaying our actions, comparing ourselves to others, and settling for less than we deserve. As Denzel Washington once said, "Don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference." That difference can only happen when you stop working against yourself and start working for yourself. Today, I want to give you 7 powerful keys that will help you stop sabotaging yourself and step boldly into the life you were created to live. One of the greatest acts of self-sabotage is convincing yourself that you must wait until everything is just right before you take action. People often say, "I'll start when I have more money. I'll begin when I feel more confident. I'll launch my dream when I get the right connections." But let me tell you something powerful. There will never be a perfect time. Life will always present you with reasons to delay, responsibilities, fears, doubts, or unexpected challenges. If you wait for the perfect conditions, you will wait forever. Think about it. The people who are living their dreams today didn't start because the stars aligned. They started because they made a decision. They took imperfect action in imperfect circumstances, and they grew along the way. Denzel Washington once said, "Dreams without goals are just dreams, and those dreams will stay stuck in your imagination if you don't put them into motion." Action creates momentum, and momentum creates clarity. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the first step. Imagine a person who keeps saying, "I'll go to the gym when I'm in shape." That makes no sense. You don't wait to be ready. You get ready by starting. The same applies to your career, your goals, and your calling. Waiting for someday is the surest way to guarantee that day never arrives. Think about Thomas Edison, who didn't wait for all the resources, all the knowledge, or all the money to start working on the light bulb. He began with what he had, failed over 1,000 times, and kept going until it worked. Or think about Oprah Winfrey, who started with no wealth, no industry connections, and plenty of reasons to quit. But she didn't wait. She began right where she was, with the little she had. The truth is, progress comes not when you have everything, but when you use the little you already have. Stop sabotaging yourself by holding out for perfection. Perfection is an illusion. Growth comes through movement, through mistakes, through persistence. Every successful person you admire had to start before they were ready. So stop saying, "I'll do it tomorrow." Stop telling yourself, "I need more time." The right time is now, because now is all you will ever truly have. Your mind can either be your best friend or your deadliest enemy. For many of us, self-sabotage begins in our own thoughts. That voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You don't have what it takes." And here's the dangerous part. The more you repeat those lies to yourself, the more you believe them. Denzel once said, "Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency." That starts with disciplining your thoughts. You must stop allowing your inner critic to dominate your life. Would you let someone else talk to you the way you talk to yourself? Would you let a stranger call you a failure every morning? Of course not. So why do you accept it from your own mind? Self-doubt destroys more dreams than failure ever will. How many opportunities have you passed up because you convinced yourself you weren't ready? How many doors stayed closed because you never knocked? The way to silence self-doubt is not by waiting for confidence to magically appear. It's by proving yourself wrong through action. Every time you take a step forward, you gather evidence that you are stronger, braver, and more capable than you thought. Train your inner voice to encourage you, not discourage you. Make it your coach, not your critic. Fear of failure is another powerful form of self-sabotage. It paralyzes people before they even try. They think, what if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough? But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's the foundation of success. Denzel Washington said, if you don't fail, you're not even trying. Think about that. Every attempt carries the risk of failure, but not attempting guarantees failure. Would you rather stumble forward or stand still forever? Every great success story is built on failure. Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career, and he is still called the greatest of all time. Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. Walt Disney was fired because his boss thought he lacked creativity. What if they had let failure stop them? Failure isn't final. It's feedback. It teaches you what doesn't work so you can find what does. The only true failure is giving up. So instead of fearing failure, embrace it. Welcome it as proof that you are in the game, that you are moving forward, that you are alive and fighting for something bigger than comfort. Comparison is poison to progress. Too often we sabotage our own journey by measuring it against someone else's. We scroll through social media. We look at others' achievements, and suddenly our life feels small, our progress feels slow, our dreams feel insignificant. But what we forget is this comparison is an illusion. You are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Every person has their own path, their own timing, their own struggles hidden from view. Denzel Washington said, "True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, is God's proof to you that it's yours already." That means your calling is yours, not anyone else's. Think of a marathon. Each runner has their own pace. Some sprint ahead, others move steadily. But if you spend the whole race staring at the person next to you, you'll trip and fall. Focus on your lane. Your job is not to be better than them. It's to be better than who you were yesterday. Comparison steals your joy, your energy, and your confidence. Instead of asking, why am I not where they are? Ask, how far have I come from where I started? The only person you should compete with is the person you were last week, last month, last year. Excuses are the chains that hold us back. We say, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the connections. But the truth is, excuses are nothing more than permission slips to stay the same. They protect us from discomfort, but they also protect us from growth. Denzel Washington said, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. And he was right. Excuses keep us in ease, in comfort, in mediocrity. They trick us into thinking we are justified in staying small. Think about this: people with less money than you, less education than you, less support than you have gone on to achieve greatness. Why? Because they refused to let excuses define them. They found a way. They sacrificed. They pushed through. Excuses will always be available, but so will opportunities. And you can't hold both. Either you keep your excuses or you chase your dream, but you can't do both at the same time. If you want to stop sabotaging yourself, cut off the excuses at the root and start taking ownership of your life. Sometimes self-sabotage comes from the company we keep. If you surround yourself with negative, toxic, and discouraging people, you will absorb their energy. Their doubt will become your doubt. Their fear will become your fear. Their limits will become your limits. Denzel once said, "Show me a successful individual, and I'll show you someone who had real positive influences in his or her life." That means your circle matters. Who you listen to matters. Who you spend your time with matters. If your friends are pulling you down instead of lifting you up, you are sabotaging yourself by staying in that environment. You need people who believe in your vision, who challenge you to rise higher, who won't let you settle for mediocrity. Surround yourself with people who see greatness in you even when you don't see it in yourself. Think about an eagle. An eagle does not fly with pigeons. It soars with other eagles. If you want to rise, stop hanging around with those who are content crawling. Protect your energy. Protect your environment, because the wrong circle will sabotage your future faster than anything else. The final and most subtle way we sabotage ourselves is through inconsistency. We start strong, but we don't follow through. We get motivated for a week, but then quit when it gets tough. We have the dream, but not the discipline. Denzel Washington said, "Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish." Discipline is what separates the talkers from the doers, the dreamers from the achievers. Self-sabotage is not always loud. It's often quiet. It shows up when you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," and tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. It shows up when you quit halfway because progress feels slow. It shows up when you chase motivation instead of building habits. Success is not built on occasional bursts of effort. It's built on small, repeated actions every single day. Going to the gym when you don't feel like it. Writing a page when you don't feel inspired. Saving money when you'd rather spend. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to. The truth is, motivation will start the engine, but discipline will keep the car moving. If you want to stop sabotaging yourself, stop depending on feelings and start depending on discipline. Because feelings change, but habits will carry you through. My friends, the world already has enough obstacles waiting for you. Don't make yourself one of them. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the competition, not against your circumstances, not even against your critics. It is against the part of you that wants to play small, to wait, to doubt, to compare, to excuse, to surround itself with negativity, and to quit too soon. Denzel Washington once said, "Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big." But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. That means your future is not in someone else's hands. It is in yours. You hold the power to stop sabotaging yourself and start building the life you were destined for. So today, make a choice. Choose action over waiting. Choose faith over doubt. Choose courage over fear. Choose discipline over excuses. Choose growth over comfort. And above all, choose to rise no matter how many times you fall. Because the truth is this, the life you dream of is possible, but it begins the moment you stop standing in your own way.